gonna do tonight as we do this. Shit, fuck did I just step on? As we do this little experience here, go on a little jog, do a little exercise, and we're gonna tell some origin stories. Some origin stories, guys. How did I get started? How did I get started with guitar? 10 years ago, doing guitar. Actually, I started guitar 20 years ago and started teaching guitar 10 years ago. So how did I get started? Well, oh shit. Let's think about this for a second. A long time ago, I remember there was a guitar in a case, my dad's guitar. It was really nice. And I just thought it would be so cool to play it. You know, because it just looked so cool. It was black and white, and it made me feel like I would be like a rock star, you know. And well, I was listening to other music like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Blink-182 and other kinds of really intense bands like that. So to be able to play that kind of music was like, it would have been so cool. It was really hard, like playing that kind of stuff. Okay, I managed to kind of barely get away with it. I played like Blink-182 songs, like, you know, all the small things and What's My Age Again. But it was really hard. And I mean, I tried as hard as I could to make the songs I played sound just like the music, but it took a long time. And of course, once they did get that good and they sounded exactly like the song, that was all I could do. I couldn't use those skills to make other music. It was just like I knew that song and that was it. I couldn't do anything else. When I did, it sounded really bad. So I'd go back to playing that song. Or maybe I'd learn some new songs. But eventually comes a point where it's like, I've learned too many songs and I don't really know what to do at this point. It's like, I don't really want to learn another song. I want to write my own stuff. And I tried. And I would just sit there and play 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 and play. Sometimes it would sound really good, but most of the time it sucked. And when I'm saying sometimes it sounded really good, I mean there would be like little fleeting moments where it would sound okay-ish for a bit, and it'd be like, oh, that would be so cool if I recorded that. And of course I never recorded it. So 20 years later, I got nothing to listen to of all that music I played, all that time I spent playing guitar, and none of it was recorded. And that's why I highly suggest to start your own YouTube channel and record everything you do. And by the way, I've become a much better trader in like a few days than I ever had before, just because I was recording it all. So yeah. So I wanted to become like, I actually really wanted to be a rock star. You know, one of those for real rock stars on stage, and I guess. But, you know, honestly, now that I'm a little older, I don't really want to be on stage. Like, it's not like, that wasn't really like the point. I just wanted to play really good music. Being on stage was just something that I thought you had to do to play really good music that a lot of people liked or to get heard. But You don't need to be on stage to get heard. Do it on YouTube. And you don't need to be on stage to play good music. You just do that whenever you want to. And yeah. So, I mean, that was never really part of the old plan. It was just kind of something that might have happened, maybe. But now that I'm here today, I understand why it didn't happen. I didn't make it happen. Alright. Well, look. What did I really, want from that? I just wanted to make good music. I just wanted to learn how to play guitar. And just play stuff that I liked that sounded really good. I could do that now. I mean, it took a long time though. A long time. And learning certain things, developing my own strategies. So, in the past though, I didn't have a teacher. Like, I didn't know the theory, I didn't know what was supposed to be done, I didn't know any exercises or drills. So I was basically just trying to do whatever I thought might be good for me. Technique, maybe jamming, I don't know. I just did whatever. And I didn't really get that good. So once I started taking lessons from different teachers, I started realizing that they're practicing certain skills. You gotta get good at your skills. You need ear training. You need rhythm skills. You need to know music theory. You gotta have good technique. You gotta be able to write songs right, or improvise really. You gotta be able to memorize the fretboard. There's all these things you gotta do. And, well, every teacher was a little bit better at one thing than another. Like, I had a really good ear training teacher, but he didn't teach me anything else, just ear training. And I had a really good technique teacher. And, he taught me a couple other things. He taught me how to, learn the theory. He kind of knew a little bit of everything. He kind of knew how to do a little bit of everything, but he really knew how to do technique really well. So he taught me a lot of that. I knew another teacher who taught me patterns and this new way of looking at the fretboard and how to shred. Paul Gilbert, right? And then I had other teachers like Michelangelo Bascio. He taught me basically how to hold the pick properly, how to shred, what kind of exercises to shred with. I learned from Joe Satriani different types of techniques for improvisation and melody control. And I learned from John Mayer. He taught me how to improvise in blues and use pentatonics and stuff. So all these different teachers teach you everything differently. So I learned everything. And here's the thing, their methods didn't really work that well for me. A little bit, it worked okay. But I have ultimately had to come up with my own system to use that not only works for me, I've also shown it to many other people, and they have improved quite a bit from that. So they figured out how to look at the guitar in this new way. This is easy way. Very simple. And it's powerful. Nobody else really uses this method to look at the guitar neck. It's a method I created myself. Pretty crazy. But this isn't just a method that I just invented out of no thin air. Like back in the day when I first started, I just pulled it out of nothing and just kind of came up with some ideas and slapped a name on it, and it's not really what I did here. See, I learned the real theory and then broke it down, created a simpler way to look at the real theory. Instead of trying to invent my own theory, I went to the real theory and just kind of gave it a new perspective. So that's that. All I'm trying to say here is that, you know, in order to get good at guitar, first you need to practice these different skills. You can't just make up, you can't just do whatever. Okay, you gotta practice certain things, and there's certain ways to look at the guitar. If you do it this way, it's gonna work. It's gonna be easy for you. You're gonna be able to improvise. You're gonna be able to see the guitar neck clearly. You're gonna be able to know what notes you're gonna be able to connect your fingers to your guitar so easily. If you don't, if you do it this other way, if you look at the guitar, how they teach you on, YouTube and the pentatonic scales or the major scale, the minor scale. You learn the scales, you learn the modes. Look at it that way. It's not really gonna help that much. Now, I don't know if you've heard some of my guitar playing. I mean, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but like I feel like I say what I want to say with my fingers and through my guitar. I wouldn't say it any other way. Like, there's some parts maybe that would put in a little bit of speed in there. I don't have the speed, but as far as the melody goes and what's you hear, I feel like those things are very deliberate. So I feel like I'm in control of my guitar playing. If you want to have the same type of control over your music, over your guitar playing, see, it feels a different way when you're in control of what you say. Like right now I'm speaking. If I didn't know how to speak English, if English is not your first language, or if you were learning another language, you're speaking another language, like for me, for example, when I speak Italian, or when I speak French, especially, all these languages I don't really speak that often. I don't feel in control when I speak. I feel like I'm like grasping for thoughts. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that with guitar. It's a language, and if you don't know how to speak it, if you don't know how to practice it, you're basically just speaking a foreign language you don't know how to speak. It's going to feel the same way. So if you want to feel more in control of what you say with your guitar, you should head over to my website, virtualguitarlessons.com. Actually, it's virtualguitarlesson.com, singular, no S at the end. The link down in the description, probably. That's what I recommend you do if you want to gain control of your guitar playing. I'm out of here.